Here we go. This episode of XIV Reborn is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, just head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. No, you're not going to do it. 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 What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of XIV Reborn, the Final Fantasy XIV show for September 10th, 2013. You're watching GameBreaker.tv, and I'm Gary Gannon. Coming up on today's show, did servers do their job? Did the server fixes do their job? Did they? Players planning to play the PS4 get some great news this week, and Moonfire Fair is underway. What are some other events in store? But joining us once again is some XIV chat. You know him as Mr. Happy, Michael Poveromo. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How about you, Gary?
Awesome! It's XIV Day. And not nearly as cool as the Magic Man himself, Michael Burke. What's up, Magic Man?
I didn't know it was Sunglass Friday.
I didn't know it was either. I saw Pete putting it on.
Because it's Tuesday. Son of a man, what day is it?
Hey! I can't even. These are actually kind of funny. When I wear these, I can't see the screen at all. They're like polarized. The entire screen just goes black. I just can't see. I can't see anything. So I'm like, I have to take these off now.
You were like, did servers do their job? What the hell does that even mean?
What? I can't. They're so weird. I don't know. They just totally script computer monitors. It's amazing. Let's see. So we got a couple things this week. This week we got some stuff to talk about. What should we talk about first? I got like so much shit to talk about this week.
I think we should probably start with the servers. I mean, that was the big going at the end of last week's show was, will this work? So let's kind of like just put that out there and be done with it, right?
No.
Come on. Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. We can preempt.
This is Coltrane, and it's time to read some Final Fantasy comments that'll make you wanna vomit. J-Sop had this to say: I'd love to play this game, but I can't f***ing log in. Matthew Lambert said, escape the reality. Live the 1017. WTF is this shit? Vegetas S4 said, there are tons of MMOs that are way better than FF14, so I'm playing them instead of wasting money on this shit. And you can go f*** yourself too. Lol. Ben Mitchell replied, shut the fuck. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, Guild Wars 2 had to do this, and look how big that game is not. Flight X-Man 30 eloquently put, he cum shots.
Insightful.
Oh, YouTube, what happened? What? YouTube, what?
No!
What? What did you do?
No!
What happened?
It's too much. Coltrane's too much.
I can't go on. Oh, Shockwave is not responding. Nice. Good
Even
going.
YouTube was like, we can't handle how awesome this is.
Good going.
Oh,
what the
man.
F? Shut up. Shut up. This has to work.
Bear.
Oh, there he is. Whoa. Oh. 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 I'll start it over. I'll start over here.
No, wait.
Do this and look of
Wait,
big about. You know, Guild Wars 2 had to do this and look of big that game is not. Flight X-Man 30 eloquently put, he cum shots. Fair Jew of Doom said, I expected more from a collector's edition, like perhaps a living baby Chocobo. Strife 860 pontificated, know you're ashamed, pissing your money away at a black hole, eager to put your d*** in it. Anime Warrior 16 rounded it out by saying, what if I had a Final Fantasy...
Oh,
too bad,
what?
Gary.
What? What is going on?
On my dick.
Oh.
Came back.
It's all
a great pause.
Episode 2 of Coltrane's Comments. If you guys have not checked out the new show on GameBreaker TV, this week is episode 2. It's posted on XIV Nation and on GameBreaker.tv. So go check it out if you guys want to watch it without interruptions. You know, I got another video to play. It's probably going to not work as well, but I'm going to play it anyway. But damn, that's a funny show.
Turn the captions on that one when you watch it the second time. Enjoy it the first time.
Yeah,
then
people
turn
love
the captions on and watch it the second time.
Are amazing. All right, so that's a good way to start with this. Good to start out with a bit of a laugh. I got another video I want to play. Chockaboo. One of our XIV Nation or our GameBreaker, community members, Core Gaming 21. He does a lot of stuff here on, makes videos and posts them, sends us questions for Legendary, all kinds of good stuff. He made this great video, and I really want to show it to you guys. It's a few minutes long, but I really want to. We've talked about U-Report a little bit. But I really want you guys check this video. This is a feature on GameBreaker.tv and XIV Nation. I want to make sure you guys all know about it. I know this music makes it sound like a joke. You think I'm trolling you, but it's okay. I'm
not. What's going on, everybody? Core here. Today I want to tell you guys about an awesome new feature across all of the GameBreaker websites. It's called the U-Report. So basically what the U-Report is a place where, well, you report. It's all about user-created content. Here you're going to be able to find user-created YouTube videos on news, video game guides, anything like that. Anything you can come up with and upload to YouTube about video games really can be featured on this part of the site. And it's really as simple as creating a video, uploading it to YouTube, and then submitting it to GameBreaker. It is that simple. So to show you guys how simple it is, let's hop onto the GameBreaker website and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, now that we're on the GameBreaker website, we are ready to submit our U-Report. First of all, if you want to submit to a specific game like Final Fantasy XIV or Hearthstone or Cube, anything like that, you can head to one of these specific websites to do that. But if you just want to submit a general video gaming video or for a video game that there's not a specific website yet for on GameBreaker's sites, then we're just going to scroll down a little bit, and right underneath this first ad, we've got a few buttons here. Check out our podcasts, GameBreaker forums, and submit your U-Report. So we're going to go ahead and click on Submit Your U-Report, and that takes us to the U-Report Submit form. So first of all, I'm going to fill out my information, my name, CoreGaming21, my email, coregaming21@gmail.com. Title to my video, this is my Rogue video. So, World of Warcraft Starter Edition, Rogue, levels 1 through 10. Now a couple of tags I want to put in. We can only put in 3 tags, so I'm putting in the 3 WoW, World of Warcraft, and Starter Edition. The description. In this episode, we take a look at the Rogue from levels 1 through 10, and a closer look at the subtlety, specialization. Specialization at level 10. So video genre, I'm going to choose video guide, but this can also be a review, a discussion, a let's play, or a machinima. So there's tons of things we're allowed to submit here onto the U-Report. But this is a video guide. This is a video guide on leveling up a rogue from levels 1 to 10. Video URL, this is something I copy and pasted. So that's just the URL that I already copied from my YouTube video. And now I want to choose the file for a thumbnail. Rogue 10. Perfect. As soon as I just submit this code right here, UJZU, which is going to be different for you guys. This is just to make sure that you're human and you're not a robot. Click send. Hey! Your message was sent successfully. Thanks! So, within the next day, 2 days, 3 days, depends on how many people are working on this and how busy everyone is. And right now, everybody is really busy because of GameBreaker Nation. This will get submitted to the U-Report section, which is right up here.
So there you go. Check it out. It's U-Report. It's on all the sites. I just wanted to show there's a great video put together. Kind of explaining what U-Report is, and he's had some really great success with it. I think on Legendary, he let us know that we actually doubled his numbers on YouTube, which is pretty awesome. So that's the whole point of us doing this. I know a lot of you out there are creating content around Final Fantasy and other games, and Hearth Nation's got it. And if anybody guys sent in anything for Hearth Nation, I apologize. Something wasn't working, but we've got it fixed now, I believe. So send in your Hearthstone stuff and your XIV stuff and all that good stuff. So check it out. And make sure you check the U-Report every day, because not all that stuff makes the front page of the website. So it's kind of like its own little section. So make sure you're checking that out and seeing what everybody's creating. There's a lot of good stuff up there, a lot of good guides and stuff. All right, so let's get into some Final Fantasy talk. So server maintenance is complete. We talked about it a little bit last week. I think the servers had gone down right in the middle of our show. But now I guess it's time to review the changes. So we'll get into some of the specific fixes here. But first up, I gotta say, for me, smooth sailing. I have only seen the queue once, and it said 2 people, and it took about 30 seconds to get in. That's it. I have never been locked out. I have not gotten a 3102. I have not gotten a 1017. I have not gotten a 90,000. I have pretty much flawlessly been able to log in whenever I please. So what was this all about? Are the changes working for everybody? Everybody good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now they are. I mean, the first couple hours were a little dicey, but we kind of expected that, and 3102 did make appearances again there. But after that, after about 5 or 6 hours of servers live, like you said, I've gotten a queue. I've never had it more than 9 on my server, and just no problems for me. Just waiting for them to kick those character creation restrictions now, and we're all good.
Yeah. So the fix was in 2 parts, right?
Yeah, there were 2 main segments of the update. They took the opportunity to fix some little bugs and stuff too, but there were 2 main pieces of the update.
What were they?
You got the new worlds added, and then as they were added, population caps were increased from about the 5,000 mark to about the 7,800 mark on existing worlds. So that was kind of a twofold piece there. And then the other side was the instance for the duty server, the duty finding server.
Yeah, what was up there? What were the fixes in the duty finder?
Well, and somebody on YouTube kind of didn't like that I simplified the explanation on what they were doing there. So the way it was pre-update was you had NA servers and you had the Japanese servers, 2 different data centers. And if you queued up on the NA server to go to any instance, the duty finding server was matching you up against other potential people across all North American servers. And it was doing the same thing with the Japanese servers, and everybody kind of had one access point.
Oh, this is when last week you were talking about more doors.
Exactly.
More doors.
Yeah. Everybody was being lined up into that one door into the duty finding server that would queue up your instance. So what they did this week on the duty finding part was they divvied up the North American servers into 2 clusters. And the same thing with the Japanese server. So now there's more doors going into the duty finder, so the congestion doesn't hit one point and break. You're only going to be queued up with 5 or 6 potential servers instead of everybody, and then lined up appropriately into one of 4 doors going into the duty finder. This is again going to change this week, which we'll get down to later on, because they're going to add some more doors.
Doors upon doors upon doors, more doors. All right, more doors. It's
all about distribute the traffic as much as possible so that no door gets crammed with all the players at once. That's
so what's there were a few 3102 posts. It's on Twitter. I saw you posting there something, Burn.
Yeah, I was doing it on purpose though. To be fair, once I saw
trolling.
that 3102. No, I was testing, Gary. There's a difference between the trolling and the testing. This was for scientific, evaluative research purposes.
Science. I get it.
For science. Yeah, once I saw 32 was going live, was going live, was popping its head up again, and people started reporting that just logging off would create it. I started logging off and testing that, and it wasn't too bad for me. I got a little late on the train. Some people had an hour or 2 before they could get in again. But for the most part, it was cleared up after 5 or 10 minutes. And then once there was an official post saying we're looking at it, a little while later there was a post saying it's fixed, and it was fixed. It was gone. And kudos this week, this was a big week, kudos to Mr. Matt Hilton and the entire Square Enix online community team. They were fantastic with the communication during all of these updates, to the point where they were even calling people out on Twitter. It was awesome. People were like, well, the Japanese said they gave updates here, and then we were seeing replies saying, we already gave the North American update. It's right here. They were really on top of it, and they deserve a lot of credit for the way they performed this week. So kudos to Matt Hilton and team.
P, what was your experience like? Pretty much smooth sailing? You get any 3102s?
No. I knew 2 or 3 people that had the issue Mr. Byrne was talking about an hour or two when they got kicked off the game or logged off, maybe, that they were locked out. But since then, if I've seen a 3102 or a 90,000, it's been one time and back in, no problems. One time my internet kicked off and kicked right back on, and I was 3102 for my first attempt because it was within like 5 seconds of me getting locked off, and another 5 seconds went by and I was on. So now when the errors appear, they're rightful. They're not, in excess like for hours upon end. So they did a really good job, definitely. And also, as he was saying, kudos to the communication. I was following them on Twitter the entire time. It was great.
So what do you guys think now? So we talked a bit about this last week, and I see a lot of people talking about still the AFK thing is on people's minds, that we were like dumbfounded that there's no AFK kick for being idle in the game and people were just staying in game. And we talked about how, answering the question, I think it was Yoshi who said he didn't, he wanted to at least implement these fixes first and didn't necessarily want to jump the gun and kind of put something like an AFK kicker in place. So I don't know. Now that the fixes are in, is there really a need for it? I mean, none of us are I'm not having any problems, no queues. I don't know. Maybe there's really just no need for it whatsoever.
Well, there might not be a need for it, but if I recall correctly, I don't remember if this was first on the Japanese forums and then translated, or if it was an official post, but he did mention bringing that in the next 1 to 3 weeks. He said that last week. It was either a translation by Reinhardt or it was an official translation. I don't know which, but he did mention that they will be adding it soon. So I personally don't see a necessity for it anymore, but maybe they're looking into the future when they release on like the PlayStation 4 or things like that.
Well, I just don't know why they would not want to cut that bandwidth off, right? Like, why would that over the course of years has to equal a lot of money, like just to let people sit idle and just send packets back and forth that they have to pay for. I can't understand why they wouldn't just put this in, but obviously it
was official. So we know it's coming. It was official. It had the lovely Yoshi P avatar in the forums there. And yes, I'm totally with you, Gary. I think you still aren't selling the software digitally because you have capacity issues. You still aren't allowing characters to be created on certain servers at certain times because you still have capacity issues. So there's bandwidth issues that are still, they're not impacting us as active players.
But they're impacting the game.
They are potentially impacting the game and new players. So yeah, let's free up any bandwidth we can here. And it is coming, whether you want it to or not. The Yoshi P was thinking about it, and now they're going to do it very soon here.
And apparently there's some more fixes actually coming. So check this out. This is a quote. He said, following, who I don't know what quote this was. Who actually said this? Do we know?
This is Yoshi P from the forum post that we're talking about.
It says, following the increase in server capacity, we've reached 325,000 simultaneous logins, and we anticipate that this number will only increase. Therefore, as our development and operations team continue to work towards a full-scale upgrade of our servers and systems in order to accommodate more players, we will continue our suspension of digital sales of the game. This is still making a lot of people happy because I've got friends who want to play, damn it! They want to play, they didn't buy it, and now they're just stuck, and they're like, man, I can't believe at this point. I kind of thought that they would open up digital sales quite quickly after the upgrades, and I still can't believe we're like days and days. It's now a week, and they still haven't opened it up. And I still got like 2 or 3 friends who want to play, and they can't play. So I guess, again, I mean, there's got to be a point that, I mean, they keep just smashing these concurrent numbers. Like every time we turn around, they just have a large, this is getting like Dota 2.
Yeah, these are some big numbers. And they're impressive, right? I mean, we all know that they don't mean too much, but it is nice to see a nice big number of concurrent users. I'd be interested in what that number looks like 6 months from now more than I care about it right now, but it's impressive.
I mean, it's still really early on, but is it kind of safe to say at this point? Can I kind of just like, is it safe for me to just say like, holy shit, like they did it, like they resurrected the game from the ashes, like they really did. Like I didn't know if any MMO could ever really resurrect, especially with like the community of MMO players are so hardcore and fickle. Like you burn them once, I've never seen an MMO come back. And the game is jam packed with people. Like it's jammed. They did it. Yeah. They literally did it.
Total success. And say what you will about the flaws and stuff that it's having now and things like that. They're working through them, and to be fair, some of them shouldn't have been there, but okay, you're working through it. Total success. Total success. I don't think do you think, this was something I was thinking earlier this week, and you two can kind of answer this for me. It could be my test subjects. Do you think any other IP could have pulled this off if they would have been forced into this kind of situation? I said that back in the day. Besides Final Fantasy could do this?
I think there are very few that could, and I said back in the day when we were looking at this long before it even got into beta and stuff like that, that if anyone could do it, it would be the Final Fantasy franchise, because the core of Final Fantasy the fan base is so hardcore. Like they want to love this game that I said, if anyone can do it, it's going to be them, because I think the fan base just wants to play this game so badly that they will give it another shot. But I think very few would have given it a second shot. I think the smartest thing they ever did, though, was shut down completely and just go away for a while. Like if they had tried to fix this over time, they never would have had this kind of impact at all. So shutting down and just basically putting their heads down and just getting to work was the smartest thing I think they could have ever done.
And some of chat is saying Star Wars is obviously an IP that they think could pull that off. I kind of have my doubts about that one, because I don't really think SWG needed to be saved. But I don't know. I don't think any other one could.
Yeah, I mean, most that kind of crash and burn to the point that like where 1.0 was at never get a second chance. So pretty amazing to actually see it. I'm amazed every night I've been logging in. I'm like, I can't believe how many people are playing it. It's so much more overwhelming than I actually anticipated, because so many people got burned, and I don't know. Pete, do you think there's any other franchise that could have possibly pulled this off?
It's a tough one.
It's tough to say, right?
The only ones who can do it are self-funded. There's no way that a company that has investors to make a game could gain investors' trust again after doing it. I think only a company like Square Enix, and only any other company that's self-funded like that, they're using their own money, I think they're the only ones who can pull it off. Those are your qualifications.
And the Final Fantasy franchise just has such a long-running, like deep, rich history, and so many games that people grew up with. I mean, that's really, I think, what gave them the second chance. If this was any game that didn't have some sort of IP that you could kind of attach yourself to, forget it. Dead in the water. Just completely borked.
And we kind of saw that leading up to this launch, right? You were either, I really, really want this game to be good because I'm such a Final Fantasy fan, I'm a Square fan, I really want to see it succeed, or you were just like, they dropped the ball, I don't ever want to look at them again, there was nobody in the middle leading up to the launch of a Realm Reborn. It was gung-ho, go for it, let's do it and hope it works out, or get out of my face, and this game sucks, I don't even want to talk about it. So it was polarizing before it even came out. Now, though, I think the side that was a little more forgiving has really embraced the game, and kudos, full-on success in my book.
I kind of wonder, like, I feel like the undercurrent of like the community of us, like the internet right now, is just they're all chatting about how good the game is and just wondering like that they can't. I wonder how many people out there who just can't buy the game right now. I mean, these concurrent like game numbers and subscribers are awesome for them, and it's like they're blowing like these through these numbers, and there's so many people playing, but at the same time, there's no sales going on right now. I mean, this is when you'd want to be selling boxes right now, or digital like versions, whatever. Like right now is when everybody's talking about it, and we're on the show going like, holy guys are pulling this off. I mean, I guess they had these server issues they just got to get through, but man, these sales got to be killing them right now.
Yeah, but would it kill them more if people bought the game and then couldn't play it?
Yes. So they probably did the right move. They got to get these things back.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week to a viewer question, that this was more a short-term bad thing than a long-term bad thing. But you did not want this short-term problem to be extended into a long-term problem. I think they went about it the right way. It's just unfortunate that the foresight there kind of wasn't there and led to this type of we got to shut down situation. But it'll be better in the long run.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the transfers, the fixes, and all that kind of stuff. But what's going to be really interesting is to see we're still in the MMO's infancy, right? So it's like, and really what 6 months from now is really going to be telling of where we're at. When most of the people watching this show and everyone out is like, you finish the story, because the story is phenomenal. Like, the story is like great. I'm not even close to done with it, but it's great, and it's really what's keeping me wanting to play consistently. Like almost every night, I'm logging in and I'm playing. It's like, it's really the story. What happens when that goes away is going to be the big question, especially for players like me. Like, I'm not gonna just raid over and over every night. Like, I'm not gonna do the repetitive, kind of gameplay stuff. Like, and I think there's a lot of players out there who are kind of like that. That is going to be really interesting to see, if like when the majority of players move into that part of the game, what's there for us. I can't wait to hear. So, but let's talk about some more. What about server transfers? So I know a lot of people are, waiting for server transfers. We did find out that they are at the top of their priority list, or very close, and they are coming soon. We don't have any details yet on dates or anything like that, but like I said, it is definitely a priority for Squeenix. This is this combined with some worlds being blocked for character creation, like the main issues right now? No server transfers and character creation.
Yeah, it's definitely being tied to that. It's tied to the no sales thing either. They got to make sure, even once they open up sales again, that the servers are stable and everything. So this will probably come well after that as well. Because if you bring all these new people in and they're going in to the servers, and you need to be sure that they're stable enough for people to start transferring and potentially overpopulating certain servers depending on word of mouth and whatnot.
Weren't these fixes supposed to be in with the previous maintenance?
For not the character creation stuff. They said ahead of time that they're still going to have those restrictions post patching. So we all knew that these were still going to be here. We just still don't know how long. Character creation was something we all took bets on last week on our character server transfer, was something we all took bets on last week when it's going to be implemented, because we've seen official posts saying the middle of September, and then Yoshi P making statements to other websites that it was still a month or so away. In the official post that you quoted from earlier, he did mention it, and he kind of left the impression that it was going to happen sooner rather than later, but we still don't have a date on them, and that is one they need to get on right away.
Now, what's going on? We're recording this show today. It's Tuesday. Yep. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We're looking at another 10-hour maintenance. Another 10-hour maintenance. Why?
I get to sleep.
Yes. It's like your break time. What's slated to be changed, though? Do we know yet? Do we know what they're working on?
Yeah, we know a few things. They're, as Mr. Byrne was talking about, they're opening more doors to the Duty Finder, which by the way, absolutely mind that I'm sick of waiting in a 40-minute queue for, because there's no room on the Duty Finder server. And so they need to do that. They're also, he spoke about something today on the Japanese forums as well. Something that he said is going to be implemented is, what was it, Mr. Byrne? Have you been on the forums the past couple of days? It was an unofficial translation coming from the Japanese forums.
The only thing that I've seen as far as what's going in here is the Duty Finder stuff. They're adding some world stuff, worlds again, and then there's a reference to world content. That some world content is being added, but no real signifier on what that is exactly.
I just remembered, the translation said they're reducing repair costs and dark matter. Thank you, chat. The cost of dark matter.
Nice.
World content.
But I'm interested in what world content is.
Lightning?
Is it
Lightning?
just those? Is it other fates? I didn't want to go with lightning, but since you went there, do you think we're going to see it this early? You think?
I do.
Really?
I do, and I'm just going to say you'll find out eventually. Do some of the quests around the world, and you'll find out why I think it's coming. I'm not going to tell you where to go or what to find, but it's out there.
See, now I expect Lightning pre-2.1, obviously, but I didn't expect it this soon. So I'll honestly be surprised if it's Lightning on tomorrow's maintenance. But if it wasn't Lightning, it's kind of like, well, what else could it be? maybe.
Do you think
some
that
more
the only reason I'm wondering is if it's lightning? Why do you think? I feel like there would be some hype around that, whether they do a press release or like talk about it, whatever. And news would kind of talk about like, hey, lightning's in. I think it might be slightly odd though that you can't buy the game right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like,
why advertise it at that point? You can't sell a single copy.
Right?
False priority.
Don't you kind of want to use that? Don't you think Lightning is big enough to kind of use as like a sales pitch to kind of get more people excited to buy it? So maybe tomorrow, but maybe after maintenance, the game goes back live again. We don't know. Maybe it'll be back for sale.
I tend to agree with Das in chat that it's not so much new content, but it's some slight fixes to existing world content, like things like the Behemoth fight, the Odin fight, the overcrowded fates where the priority display isn't quite working correctly and the bosses are phasing out. I tend to think that that's more what we're looking for here. I would honestly be incredibly surprised if Lightning dropped tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta. They gotta fix some of that graphical issues with some of that stuff before I think they start like dropping stuff like lightning into the game. That'd be my guess. I mean that, boss fights and open world stuff like just phasing in and out of your screen depending on how many people are on screen is definitely not conducive to something like that.
Thank goodness someone held Odin still today. One tank held him still the whole time. I could see him from 100% to 0. Something interesting. Odin doesn't have his helmet on before you aggro him. He puts his helmet on after you aggro him. That was interesting. He looks like the Midlander. He looks like the Midlander.
Burns leaving. He's like, I'm
never doing this show again. I gotta finish the story. I'm close.
I want to talk about, we got some good console information here for console players. But first, I want to tell you guys about Shutterstock. I want to hook you guys up with 25% off on your brand new Shutterstock account. If you guys have not checked out Shutterstock, they have vector artwork, photography, stock photography, footage, all kinds of stuff. I was doing some looking here while you guys were talking. I was like, man, I was thinking about Final Fantasy people. I was like, well, what if they were making like a guild website or something? And, maybe you're making a guild website and you want it to look really cool. And I typed in fantasy dungeon. So that would be kind of cool. Look at some of this artwork I came up with. How freaking awesome would this be on your guild website? Like, that's awesome. All of their stuff comes with a license. You're not stealing anything from the artist. They've submitted their stuff and you're paying for it. They have a couple great plans, different ways to download stuff. You can either buy individual packs of downloads or you can have a monthly service. We have a monthly service here at Gamebreaker because we use this a ton, but you don't have to go with the monthly service. All kinds. This is just one thing I just searched, and you could just use this artwork all over, like your website, your YouTube page. Everybody okay?
We're alive.
I don't know what that was. It an earthquake? Is everything okay?
Somebody's house just gonna fly by? What happened there?
I don't know. It was scary. But yeah, you guys can go on today and just start make an account, make a free account. You don't even have to sign up today, and you can start looking through all this stuff and sorting it, adding it to light boxes, things like that, to kind of get a feel for what they have. They got tons of stuff. Like I said, if you have a website, a blog, a YouTube page, a video project, you have to check out Shutterstock. We use it here constantly on Gamebreaker. That's why everything looks so good. I want to save you guys 25% off on your account. All you got to do is make sure that you sign up, make a new account, and use the promo code GameBreaker9 when you set up your brand new accounts. Check it out today, shutterstock.com. So console players got some great news yesterday. They're jumping for joy.
It was all right.
A few episodes back, we talked about the PlayStation 4 release for Final Fantasy XIV, and we speculated about dates and pricing and all that good stuff. Well, we already have a PlayStation 4 beta date, and if you're a PS3 player planning to play on the PS4, you're really going to want to listen up. So first up, beta for the... What's up?
I said we got a couple points that you might want to take note of if you haven't been made aware already.
Grab a
These
pen.
are kind of important for you if you're PS3 planning to be PS4.
So beta for the PlayStation 4, February 22nd, 2014. Wow. That's the PlayStation 4's Japanese launch date. So surprised?
Very. I mean,
earlier,
Yoshi P had said people were going to probably be surprised by the date and how early it was.
I was going to say, you think a lot of people thought it was going to be a lot later than this, huh?
I did.
Yeah, I anticipated a launch of probably around July, August, which, if we look at the roadmap, would have put a meaningful beta probably around April-ish, maybe into the early parts of May. And it doesn't get any earlier than this for a beta in Japan on the system. That's freaking launch date, baby. PS4 is just released. You can't get earlier. So definitely surprised. Definitely.
What do you think for an actual official release date then? Where do you think it sits?
Depends how big the beta test is and what it's supposed to encompass. I'd imagine they're mostly testing the graphics and how players react, how things load on the screen, some of the things we're dealing with now. So, summer. Definitely summer. I'm leaning towards mid-summer over earlier.
Wow, you really think it's going to go that long in beta, huh?
Huh. I think that was a really very nice way to skirt the question. No. I would say I don't think... I mean, this doesn't take much, right? The PlayStation 4 is practically a PC anyway as far as a programming standpoint goes. I know not specs. Don't start that in chat. But programming-wise, it's basically a PC. If we do beta at the end of February and roll that into March, I'm going to say I'm going to say second week of April.
Wow,
I'm going to go a little earlier
May.
than you and say second week of April.
And Gary?
Yeah. I'm going to go first week of May.
Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Defying all release expectations and doing it on Saturday.
I'm going to go with Saturday. You're going
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a
mid-summer.
callback.
That was a good one.
I'm only thinking that.
Why do you think you're going to do such?
That's worst case scenario.
Why do you think they'll need such a long beta test though? That's what I'm. I mean, they already have like it worked out on PC and PS3, and I'm not going to say I'm sure it's not just a port, but like you said, PS4 is I think it's somewhat closer to a PC. I don't know. You're talking like how many months is it?
Depends on how smooth, and the reason why I think it is because the PlayStation 4 is not going to have been out for long at that point. And just like anything, it comes out brand new, there's usually bugs and things that end up happening, and they can't predict how the system's going to respond to certain things. That's what I'm worried about more than anything. But that's really like the furthest it could possibly go is midsummer in my opinion.
You're going long on this one.
That's the longest that I think it could ever possibly go. Any longer than that, and it's way past its prime. It needs to happen earlier, but that is as far as it can go. That is just me looking as far into the future with everything going wrong as possible. And Mr. Byrne,
is there any way?
I think you're way off, man. I respect where you're going with it, but at that point, the PlayStation 4 will have been out in the United States and Europe for a little over 3 months at that point. The console itself will have been out in those regions, launching in Japan in February, but the system's down. I mean, they've been playing on it for months now.
The system is down.
So
the system is down. So
they've been playing internally on the PS4 for months now, getting this thing ready. I don't think the bugs of the system is going to play into this. I think they just want to get it up and running, do a week or two of beta real quick, make sure that it plays the way they think it's going to play, because they'll have worked a lot of these back-end bugs out already with the software on the PC and on the PlayStation 3. Second week of April, and DX11 needs to come with it, by the way.
Definitely a Saturday. Definitely Saturday.
Are
either of you planning to play on the PS4?
Yep.
I'll try it. Why not? I want to see how much better it runs on the PS3, which should be a lot.
I'm gonna hold out and see what Endgame is like. I don't know if I'll have need.
You know
I don't
what?
know.
That's a legitimate concern. I'm worried about the
I'm not
players
gonna
like
buy
you.
it I'm not gonna buy it at that point. If like I said, I'm not gonna be the type of person that's gonna run a lot of that stuff over and over again. So if I'm not playing the game on a PC, I'm definitely not gonna buy it on PS4. I mean,
I want to see the way players like you kind of evolve, because once you get that story done, you're not a raider. You don't know what PvP is going to be like yet to know whether you're going to like that or not.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't even exist yet. And you have no interest in doing the stuff that Mike and I are going to do, where we go back and play another class and get that up there, and go back and play another class, making it exceedingly longer and longer and grindier each time we do it, because we're getting rid of all the side stuff we had at first. I'm really interested.
You might as well just buy more accounts. You might as well just buy more accounts to do that.
Hold on. He's going to school me. Go ahead.
Gary, we're going to talk about it soon, but you're going to find out the story's never over.
I kind of figure that. Now we're really quitting.
It's an MMO.
It's an MMO.
It's gotta end,
It's a Final Fantasy, though.
But again, now that's going to come into also though. How frequent are the updates going to hit? How quickly are they going to update the story? How much content is going to be in that? Is it going to play for 2-3 days and be done with it, like mini packs? Is it going to be long? Yeah. There's a lot of questions that still remain to be seen. Hey, I'm the one who just said they resurrected this game. There's no doubt about it. But still, we've seen plenty of MMOs that coming out of the gate feel awesome for the first X number of weeks, even the X number of months. 4, 5, 6 months down the road, when you're at that end game, there's still a lot of like possibilities that could happen.
And everyone calm down. Yoshi P's been saying the story would continue with patches. You guys have known this. Everyone here has read the interviews.
Burn is just like, he's fired up.
I know Mr. Burn.
Boiling. No more spoilers, damn it!
You knew though.
No, I've never played an MMO before. I didn't know the story was supposed to keep going.
You've never played an MMO.
I'm level 48, and if you get to level 48, I'm not spoiling anything here. There ain't shit to do at level 48. You kind of got to grind that one out, because you're going to hit 49, and boom, it's time to wrap this baby up. I don't know what's going to happen. Don't spoil stuff for me. Chat. Chat's on
You have read interviews.
I have not, and I specifically don't watch your videos because I am so nervous that you're going to spill things. Like, I read your descriptions of stuff first before I watch your videos. I was scared to watch your Bard macro thing because I thought you might say something about stories and relic weapons. Ah!
Cloud. All right. Now that our acting is out of the way.
Bird is
He
pissed.
thinks I'm acting. When this show's down, we're still going to talk about this.
All right, so for PlayStation 4 players, if beta wasn't enough for you guys and dates on that, there's also more news from Squeenix. Just yesterday, they have released their plan for players that are currently on the PS3, but they want to upgrade to the PS4. Guess what? Free. Just upgrade. PS3 players, upgrade to PlayStation 4, upgrade totally for free. Don't even have to buy the game again.
Ta-da!
I think it's a super smart move. I was kind of 50-50 on this and just was like, man, if they do the right thing, that would be the right thing to do. Is they've already bought it, push them into the next generation of console, keep them as players for the long haul and the subscription. Don't make them buy it again. I kind of still have a slight problem with even being a PC player and not being able to have a PS4 version of it, or like vice versa. I almost feel like I should be able to buy it. Like if I would be able to buy it once and play it on either 3, 4, or PC, I don't see anything wrong with that. Especially if I'm paying $15 a month for the game. Keep me playing longer. Because if I could get the PS4 version included with my PC version, I will absolutely load it up on my PS4. Which right now I'm like.
Yeah, it's going to be funny when we get a little further in the show notes here, and you see what the next topic is. Gary saw the free thing, and he was like, son of a... Why don't I have it free on computer and PlayStation 3 if they're just going to give it to the PS4 guys?
I want it on the computer. Yo, can you get this free on the computer?
And then 4 places down in the show notes, it's like, hey, do you think that this is going to get that old argument up there? Gary was, that's immediately what he saw.
Hey, it's about retention.
It is. You're right.
I've given you my money. Now, give me something back and let me stay for a while. Like I got a PC here at the office. My PS4 is probably going to be home. Like I I would easily load it up there if I had the option. Now I don't know, and I got to spend another $50, $60 or whatever the game's going to cost me. I got to question it. Don't make me question it. Just give it to me. I don't know. What do you guys think of this though? PS3 owners getting the PS4 version. Do you guys anybody see this coming?
I did. Nope. A little bit, because it's been a huge concern in the people who are planning to play on the PS3. There's another concern that they still haven't addressed, but we pretty much think we know the answer to. But at least one of the two issues has been confirmed, that PlayStation 3 players with the PlayStation 4 right around the corner will not have to repurchase the game. Good move. Thought it was coming, wasn't sure, but glad that it's confirmed.
Yeah, I saw discount software coming, especially after Sony made announcements at Gamescom relating to other games that if you purchased on the PS3, you might be able to get on the PS4 at a discount if they were being released there as well. Totally free, I'll admit, I didn't see totally free coming, but I'm incredibly thrilled that they did this.
So for any of you guys out there, like, guys and gals, like, maybe you have a PS3, you're planning on buying a PS4, maybe you were holding out because you knew you were getting a PS4 in the next few months, and maybe you didn't purchase the game. Now you have no reason to not pick it up, at least if you're interested in trying it, that's for sure.
Besides the fact that you can't find it.
Oh yeah, that's the only problem. You just can't actually buy it. But when you can buy it, now you really don't have you have a reason to buy it. So the other thing to note here is that character migration it will not be an issue. So the press release said, furthermore, those of you who are currently playing the PS3 version of XIV ARR will not have to rebuy the game on the PS4 and will be able to transition to playing on PS4 at no additional cost. They will even be able to carry over character data and continue playing on the new platform. So good to note there too. Don't even have to worry about your character getting lost. Nothing like that. So I don't know, man. I want it for free.
I'll ship you a copy. There, it's free.
And it's gonna be, I guess, it's gonna be $40, right? Correct if I'm wrong. It's $40 for the PS3 version.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not 60. Still 40. That'll be the third time I bought this freaking game.
Well, I can throw that box then. The PS3
I don't throw the box anymore. It's not worthy of being thrown anymore. I'm having a ton of fun. I play it like every night. So I'm not throwing boxes.
Well, it's a spare copy, so
it's a spare copy, yeah. Just like it's like a spare tire, like in case one blows out, I got another one. Oh.
Exactly. There you go. Your PC breaks down, you have the PS3 version.
There you go. Your video card blows up, you got the PS4. I started playing the other night with a controller, by the way. Oh, two things. Do either of you guys play in first-person mode?
No.
Oh my god.
I use it for screenshots. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's effing fantastic. I want everybody try it. Like, I know you can't, like, if you go into like mass battles and raiding and stuff, like, yeah, of course you're gonna go out to third person. But I started playing in first person. A lot of people don't even know how to get to first person. It's the home button on your PC. Click the home button, goes into first person mode. It's like a different game for me. I love it. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yes. Like, I love the perspective of it. Like, I like talking to the like it feels more like an RPG. Like, you're talking to characters, their dialogue is coming up. You're not like removed from like this third, like, thing. Like I said, when I go into battles and stuff, I go out into third person and stuff like that, but I'm absolutely loving first person mode. I'm only playing in first person mode. Try it. Try as an experiment. P's like, no effing way. This guy doesn't know how to play games.
Have
you tried it?
He's like, what do you think this is, Skyrim?
I was thinking that in my head this entire time.
That it's Skyrim. But it felt much more like an RPG, and when you're going through the story quests, like, it really, I don't know, it added something to it. I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. As soon as I started doing it, I was like, wow, I'm actually liking the game more because of this. It's weird. So I started also trying to play with a controller a bit. It didn't work out so much. I did it for like a full, I don't know, 6-7 hours maybe.
Wow.
I like the movement and moving around. I got kind of tired of the way the triggers and the buttons work and holding them down. I mean, I know I could remap stuff and change things, but and the targeting still just never felt good. I immediately kind of.
You have to really want to make it work. Like I said before, it works fine, but you have to want to make it work for you. It has to be the more comfortable option in the first place, really.
I'm just going to see if anybody in the chat room is agreeing with me on first person because it's great. See, people saying they haven't played since EQ1. Try it. Try it. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. I want everybody to experiment this week. All the XIV Reborn viewers, like, try playing in first person mode for a while and leave me a comment, tweet at me, whatever. I want to know what your thoughts are on it because I really feel like, honestly, for me, it felt like a different game. Like, it felt. Burn, you have not played it in first at all?
No, I only use the first person for screenshots when I'm trying to get nice shots of like some other character or weather event or whatever, or something where I want to see a panoramic view and not my character.
Maybe I'm an RPer.
Only reason I've used
Maybe I'm
it.
a closet RPer.
I think you are a closet RPer.
Maybe that's.
I think you are. I think you're the next one that's going to start making macros that like say different things as you cast spells. I can see it coming with you. I can see it coming with you.
You're going to take the Chocobo Porter and you're going to make it's going to be like /wave and hello, fellow Eorzeans. And you're just going to let it slowly walk between the distance. Like, yeah, you kill that vulture.
Well, I actually liked, maybe I am, now that I'm thinking more, I think about it, I actually like the fact with the controller I could walk so easily, and I was walking around instead of running. And I'm like, wow, that's total RP. I'm walking through town. You know what I would love to see in this game? You know what? This is a total side note. I thought about this last night. I was playing.
Hold on.
This whole thing is a total.
The whole conversation's a total side note. But I just thought of you're RPing alone.
Oh yeah, totally. No, it's totally solo.
It's not even like you're RPing with a group of friends.
Yeah,
like you're sitting at your computer and you're like.
That's why it's not RP. It's not RP if you're solo.
It's a very weird RP, I think.
That's like sitting down and playing a Dungeons and Dragons game by yourself.
Yeah. And
you don't do
cheating
that?
on the dice rolls. Shit, 1.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, 18. What do I do?
You know what would be awesome? The weather effects are so good in the game. I would
what
love
are
to
you
see
even talking about anymore.
RP elements.
Yeah. You know what I'd love to see? No, this is something that Scott Hawks and I talked about on other shows about games like This Week in MMOs, and just in general. I would love to see weather effects have an actual effect on gameplay. Like force people inside. Like the storm is so like I walked outside and all of a sudden I walked out. I was near Drybone and I walked outside and the storm was really bad. I'm like, how awesome would it be if this storm was so freaking bad that like you had to like go and do other stuff? Like you literally couldn't go do maybe the thing you were thinking about doing. Because it's so bad outside that you've got to go do content that's like indoors or something.
Gary?
We know that weather's going to influence gameplay in some ways, but I don't think anything near that level.
I don't think weather. I think weather's underutilized.
We can't go to Thaddelan today. It's totally flooded, guys. Let's go craft instead.
Gary, let me tell you this right now. If I have to go sit in front of a rock and wait 15 minutes for it to lower again, like I did in Final Fantasy XI, I am going to go nuts. If I have to wait for double fire weather for me to potentially dig something up on my Chocobo, I'm going to go nuts. Please do not ask for more than just fishes not appearing or something, please.
Chat has said Sharknado, which I agree. I mean, if we're going to do this, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Limsa gets hit by a Sharknado. The entire business district is done.
I think there's a fake called Sharknado.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I agree. So
another side note, Square's been pretty hip with the Fate names and the references. Some of them are pretty clever.
I mean, Shadow was talking about like sandstorms and stuff. Wouldn't it be awesome if the sandstorm was so bad you couldn't see? Like literally just can't see, can't do anything. Like maybe you could still fight if you want to fight through it, but
fog is nasty.
Oh,
when you get fog, it is nasty. Outside of where did I get it the first time? Outside of Limsa in one of the Lenosha areas. The fog, the first time I ever saw it, it rolled in. And it rolled in like that, and you could not see further than like 2 feet in front of your character. It was actually amazing the way it worked. You totally should, but it's like just a Gary Gannon RP group.
Just by
Nobody
myself.
else is allowed.
You can start your own link shell.
It's the GGRP link shell.
Yeah, I got my own link shell.
Just the one person.
Oh.
Your wife comes in. Who are you talking to? Get out of here! I'm RPing.
I'm RPing by myself.
Okay. Woo.
I'm going to go to a commercial break because Poveromo's got a problem, apparently, with the video camera. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, do I?
What's up, everybody? I want to tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with Audible. Super happy to have Audible on as sponsors for the XIV Reborn. If you guys have not checked out Audible, you got to check it out. I want to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial and a free audio book just by using the URL audible.com/gamebreaker. Michael P., you might want to like switch your camera off and back on or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It looks fine in the.
It looks fine, except that.
Except for when you look at it on the show.
I would say that's not fine for me. So
he went ludicrous speed.
Check it out. If you guys have not checked out Audible, it's audiobooks on your iPhone, your Android, all that good stuff. So I've been a long time fan of Audible. I've been a subscriber for years, long before they were sponsors. So super happy when these guys wanted to come on as sponsors. They got tons of great books. Lord of the Rings series, there's just tons of them in here. You got The Hobbit, Fellowship of the Ring, Book 1, Book 2, Return of the King. Check it out. You guys could be downloading one of these tonight as your free book. All you got to do is go to audible.com/gamebreaker. Just use that URL, sign up, make an account, download the app, put it on your phone, pick up free book, and get to listening. Great service. Loves the Audible. We've been staying up to date on... Yeah, perfect.
I was asking you the whole time, and you...
It looks fine.
You gave me a thumbs up.
You look fine on my shot. I can't see Gary's quad box when he's got that up.
Hang on, let me fix this. I will fix. This
is like all kinds of RP today.
Yeah, let's try closing some programs, see if that helps. Because everything is fine on our end. I see him fine. And now I'm going to come back up and it works!
There he is. Oh, hey, welcome back.
Well,
you were just going to turn into her. But now you are back. All right. We've been keeping up with everyone's progress here on the show pretty much week after week, see where we're all out. I am running dungeons.
Yeah, you've been a dungeon running fool this week, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point. I'm running dungeons. Like I said, I've been playing pretty good amount for me, busy, but not like you guys. Definitely not max level. But I've been having fun. The dungeons aren't blowing me away like the story is. The story for me is it right now. Story is just I like it. I think it's a great story. It's really intriguing. It really feels like I'm on an adventure. Like it feels like they've really pulled, like I said, they pulled that RPG back into the game where it's like, wow, I really feel connected to this world. Like I feel like we're like doing something. We're trying to like unfold the story and see what's going on. And there's like all kinds of like, crazy, just weird events happening and backstabbing sort of stuff. And the dungeons, okay, they're all right. I don't know. I'm not blown away by them. The mechanics, I'm sure they get more difficult. I'm sure they get more intricate. And I'm sure they get harder, of course. But right now, it's been pretty much just like jump in, do them, you're done. Mechanics are not.
So, but you've done difficult. What? You've done Copperbell Mines.
Yeah. Tam.
Tamtara Deepcroft. Sestasha. Have you done Ifrit yet?
Isn't really a dungeon, but.
So you did that fight?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about where
you're
I'm
still kind of like in the
I'm a noob.
Yeah, you're still kind of like in the just do it dungeons right now.
Yeah.
That's going to change relatively shortly. It's going to change. Hoke Manor is going to start changing that up a little bit for you and give you a couple mechanics. And then Sunken Temple is really going to be the first one where your group's going to get challenged if you use the Duty Finder or if you go with some people that haven't done it before. So you're coming up on when things start to get
I refuse to use the Duty Finder. I tried once. It was a nightmare. I do not queue up with the Duty Finder.
See, Chad's saying Brave Flocks. I kind of thought that was a pretty straightforward, easy instance. I really didn't have much of a challenge there. It is fun. I agree with you. It's definitely fun, but I'm looking more towards where a lot of neat mechanics start. And when your first boss in Sunken Temple starts casting Doom, you're in a good place as far as getting challenged for the first time. So yeah, you've got some stuff coming up. Just stick with it.
Burn, where are you? Last week you just cracked the 40s. Are you 50 yet?
No. There was 1 or 2 days where I really didn't get to play much at all. I'm 48, about halfway to 49. So I'm in that odd level and a half where the story kind of gets paused, and there's really not a lot of side quest stuff to do once you clear out Mordona, and so you've kind of got to fate grind a level or so that they can pick the story back up at 49 and ride it right into 50. So kind of at a slow spot for me right now. Hoping to get to 49 tonight and then polish off Thaumaturge level 50 tomorrow.
Nice. Somebody's joining us.
I see that.
Wow.
Hi. Chill out. All right. Part of the show. This is little puppy. What about crafting? Fill me in on crafting. So here's something I've done nothing. I've done none of it. I've completely disregarded all of crafting. We haven't chatted much about crafting at all since
I have a few things to say about crafting.
All right, then I'll go
let's
first since I have very little experience, and just get me out of the way.
I've done
goldsmithing this week. I got goldsmithing almost to level 20, and then I have got 1 or 2 others to 10 or 11. I'm still enjoying it. I do like the interactivity, but it becomes... I'm going to spend all my leave quests on crafting and gathering, because there's just... To grind that out without leave quests would be a pain in the ass that even I don't want to take on. And so that's my experience with crafting, is 0 through 20 is cool and interesting and learning it. At that point, it's all about leave quests for me and crafting.
Well, Pete, before you
it's
get
all
into
you now, Mr. Happy.
Before we get into your crafting experience, though, where are you at? What are you doing?
What, you mean in the game itself?
Yeah, what's your update?
Doing all my relics, getting all my item level 70 stuff, doing the coil, doing that pretty much every day for, all day. But I mean, don't we have some time for that a little bit later? Because I want to talk about crafting.
He's got crap. Gary, you were really pumped up about RP. Mr. Happy's pumped up about crafting.
Obviously,
yeah.
I'm getting beat up by this dog. What are you doing? What? You're insane right now. You just woke up. You're like a child. Hello.
Where's the dog's barking? The behemoth barking for your dog.
All right, go ahead, P.
So, Mr. Byrne hit the nail on the head with the leaves. Because for leveling, you've never had an easier time leveling crafting than you have with crafting leaves. And I don't know if you're aware to the extent of this, Mr. Byrne, but prepare to take your crafting classes all the way up very, very quickly with some HQ crafting materials.
Yeah, I saw a few videos on that one.
It's pretty ridiculous right now how quick it is to level crafting versus pretty much everything else in the game. You might be out fate grinding for your battle class, but for your crafting class, a quick trip to the market boards is all you really need, or a little bit of patience. Crafting, though, is good, and at level 50, if you want to get the high-quality stuff, you need to actually have a rotation similar to combat down. I know people who say, oh, just give me the normal quality mats, I'll HQ that, no problem. And then there are people who don't really know what all their abilities do, and they just get in normal quality crafts after normal quality crafts. It does take some skill, but once you've done it a few times, you'll really...
Are you finding it fun?
I think it's better than other games crafting. Hey, do all. Okay, see you in 10 minutes.
I mean, should I be doing it?
But there's the option for that. I mean,
there's the option for that. But at level 50, you won't use it as often.
Should I get into it though more, because I don't have I don't have no money, but I don't have a ton of money, and I'm literally doing zero crafting. I'm just adventuring. Should I really start spending some time on it?
I mean, I'd say get into gathering first. I think you're better off on that front. And the gathering leaves aren't as good as the crafting ones, but you'll definitely want to be using those as well. Get some money built up first. Do some more of the main missions first, I'd say, and then get into the crafting. Like Mr. Byrne here said, first 20 levels, you'll have a ton of fun with it. After that, you'll really just... Are you even listening? He's going to, at the end, what?
I'm being distracted.
His face eaten.
This dog is eating my face.
That's your hand.
Oh, yeah, that's my hand. Continue.
Well, I mean, for you though, Gary, I don't even know if crafting's really all that worth it to you. It's going to depend on what you want to do post-story completion, because the
More
benefits
story.
are your money.
More story.
Okay,
More
fine.
story.
And that's something else we could talk about. I think the economy in 14 is in trouble right now, or going to be down the road. But it's also, you're not going to do raiding, so it'd be nice to have materia melded, but you could get other people to do it. I don't know if there's a huge benefit for you to do it, Gary.
What? School me on
Besides to
materia.
just check it out.
Dabble
School
in
me
it.
on materia. You talk about that. I mean, what's the deal with this? I've been hearing about what's all this stuff, materia stuff.
So materia is, if you played any other MMO, just going to make a reference, they're enchantments, they're gems that you put in your gear. And you need a craft that's eligible to meld the materia. And it says right on the gear, it says the craft that's required and what level. Once you have that, most pieces, if they're crafted pieces, they have 1 or 2 slots usually. And you can add materia to those without any worry or anything. Just put them in. You have to worry about a few things, such as statistics being capped out. If you put too much of the same materia in, or the piece of gear already has too much of a stat, you won't be able to add more materia to make that stat extremely high over other pieces. But after you fill those slots that are available, you can actually go for what's called forbidden melding, which allows you to surpass that number, but up to a maximum of 5 pieces of materia. But every single one after the last 100% successful meld has a decreasing chance of actually succeeding, and you'll lose the piece of materia and the carbonized matter, which is a catalyst for the meld. You'll lose them both if you fail. And I remember going down to like 4 or 5% success rate by the time I got to the 5th meld, about, depending on what level the materia is exactly. So you can throw a lot of money and a lot of time into that and end up just losing it all. It's a big gamble. But it's an interesting system to keep materia rolling in the market, keep craftable gear rolling in the markets, things like that. But it's something people aren't really exploring yet, which Mr. Burns said the economy is having troubles. Once people start doing that, the economy will be in less of a shambles.
So it's a big sink, basically. It's gonna help even it out, so to speak.
It keeps things in demand, especially crafters, they don't get phased out. Especially because you can't assimilate gear from raids or primals or any of that. You can only assimilate crafted gear for the materia slots. And if you're patient with it and you do a lot of work with it, you can actually make pieces that are either on par with the best stuff, or in some cases, depending on your own preferences, even all out better than other pieces. They're big increases if you actually utilize them, even at the lower levels.
What about this piece? I saw some interesting tweets from you this week about damage over time effects. Something about a tweet of maybe coil being actually easier than you thought. Yes.
I know, right?
I know.
That's the way I felt when I saw that tweet. I was like,
Well, damage over time mechanics, and you guys have played other MMOs. You know, usually a damage over time effect works like this. You put the damage over time effect on the target. It checks your stats. It checks all your damage buffs. It does the damage. An amount of times, depending on how long the individual dot lasts, it'll tick faster with the right stats. Throw all that out the window, because it ain't like that in Final Fantasy XIV. In Final Fantasy XIV, there is an internal clock that the game runs on when all damage over time effects and healing over time effects will tick at the exact same time. This means if you apply something that has an 18-second duration, it might not tick for the first time until 15 seconds, or it could tick at 17.9 seconds. And the final tick could happen at 0.1 seconds before it falls off, or 2.9 seconds before it falls off. Which means that clipping dots, which is a term used when you reapply your dot early and you're not supposed to. Should I even continue? Or am I going too much into this right now? Because I'm getting it's so difficult to explain.
My
brain is hurting because I don't understand it. And how do you I don't get it either. How are you like, how do you gauge this then? Like, how do you even like?
There's a big number that pops up in giant red letters under the enemy, mixed in with all the other battle text that you can see. And that number, also whenever a tank gets, it looks like he's frozen.
Yes.
He's really, really still. It's kind of. I think he is frozen. To be honest. No way. He's retaining that perfectly. There's no way. It's really hard to gauge, and I think it's a perfect thing that add-ons will be coming out with that. Because that clock ticks every 3 seconds. He's stuck. There's no way.
So this is something that they're doing by design, but do you think it works, or do you think they need to kind of relook at this and kind of just
I think they should relook at it.
I mean, why aren't DOTs just working like they work in other MMOs? I mean, that sounds really confusing.
I think they need to throw it out the window and just make it based on your skill speed or your spell speed. Like if those make it tick faster, they make the duration shorter. Because that means that, let's say you have a rotation of abilities, and you want to do it at an exact moment. It means that because you're doing your abilities quicker with skill speed, and the dots aren't falling off any slower,
right?
That you can actually get to a point where your rotation will get messed up because you can't mess with your dots because they're not falling off faster because of skill speed and spell speed. It really needs to be changed. If not, we need an add-on for that time.
Wow, that's really crazy. I had no idea. That's gonna be interesting. That sounds like we need like a video or a guide just on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Anyone out here who does add-ons, please
just
think about
start working on it now. Get ready for it when they allow them.
Yeah, once they do.
What exactly is Coil? So we've mentioned it a few times, but I want to get into a little bit more. You don't have to get into like details of your guild progression, all that kind of stuff, and like no spoilers. But what can you tell us about it?
Well, it's definitely something that any previous Final Fantasy players really might have troubles with. I mean, Final Fantasy XI was pretty much a stand still and deal with it kind of game, and Final Fantasy XIV, the UI was so slow that you usually just did nothing and waited to react to something. But this, you really have to be optimizing your time damaging, you have to optimize your time with healing, with tanking, with movements. Everything needs to be precise. And sometimes the games, as Mr. Byrne mentioned previously, how you can think you're not being hit by something, but you are. That could play into it big time if you're somebody who's facing a 300-400 ping. It definitely will test players, but from my MMO experience, it's not that super difficult, like crazy end game that no one's going to touch kind of deal.
What's making it easier than you expected?
I think just having a competent group of players really does it for you. People who have played MMOs before and know that they need to dodge things, that grid circles are bad, and that standing in front of a boss is bad, and standing behind a boss can be bad. People that can quickly recognize mechanics and deal with it. You just need to have a group of people who can tell that something's bad not to do it, or something's good and yes to do it. And what really makes it hard is the tuning of the damage, how much damage someone takes and how much damage you need to deal, and how precise you need to be with the game's UI. I think that's really where the test is. But that's not to take anything away from Yoshi P. He did a good job with the mechanics of Coil. He did a good job. They definitely, it feels way past something that people would have expected in a Final Fantasy game.
So what do you think about his estimate of only 100 people probably clearing it before 2.1? Do you think he's accurate, or do you think it's going to be a lot more than that now?
I think all 5 turns, it's not accurate. I'd still say definitely more than 100 people. But
you said that originally.
I said that originally, yeah. I still think 300-400 people realistically to beat all 5 turns, because there becomes a point where the skill of your group may not be up to par, and that's when gear ends up giving you a bigger margin of error. And gear at level 50, at some times it can feel really choked. Like you are not going to get your full gear for a job in even the time that it takes for us to get to patch 2.1, not to mention any other jobs you might want to play. So you're really going to be dealing with a really low gear level for a lot of the stuff, and that is definitely adding to the difficulty, that you jump right from an item level 70 piece to an item level 90 place to get. It's a lot of it's gear throttling, I feel like, and but the mechanics are good, and if you mess up, you will die. Bottom line, so they did a good job with that.
All right, so moving on quick before we get some viewer questions. I want to talk about the Moonfire Fair a little bit. This one's kind of been like, it's an event going on right now in the game where there's representatives in all 3 major cities. You can see all the decorations around and things like that. What's the event all about? I mean, do you get any achievements gear? I know there's a vendor there, but what is heat resistant gear?
It's a swimsuit. That's the quickest way to put it. It's a swimsuit, and that's a big thing with Final Fantasy is sort of have. I'll give you a second to.
You can continue.
It's swimsuits. That's a big thing with Final Fantasy is aesthetics, and that's one reason why I feel like it's going to do really well. Are events like this where people can go out and have fun, quickly grab a swimsuit, laugh about it with their friends, and just look at that. Welcome back, Mr. Byrne.
I see. I mean, I've been trying to gauge what people felt about it, and I think I don't know. Some people I noticed were seemed to kind of be maybe expecting a little bit more out of this event. They thought it might be a little bit, I don't know. I saw some comments floating around like maybe more involved. Yeah, I think would probably be the best way to put it. It doesn't seem like it's incredibly involved. Like, it's kind of,
well, you can put your free company logo on that. I don't know where, but
yeah, I was gonna say where would you do that?
I guess on the shoulder. I can tell you where on that one.
This was an event that happened in 11 as well, right?
The Moonfire Fair specifically, I don't remember it being this one, but they had a summer event very similarly, and where you could get swim trunks and things like that. Yeah.
Or it was in the original release of 14 though.
Yeah, they did have the Moonfire Fair. It is returning. That was actually a big deal. A lot of people were worried about their cascadeer gear, as some people prefer to call it.
Any major differences? Any major differences between this one and the original?
It's quicker. It's a lot quicker, considering you can finish the whole event in a single fate, depending on how interested you are in the event. I'd say that they definitely toned down. I guess it's not really too. They were so getting ready for the game itself. I feel like they sort of overlooked the influence of events, and I hope that in future events they're a little bit more involved, not just a fate and hand-ins. I really want there to be some sort of like quest lines, quest chains, go here, go there, something to really take your mind off of what you're doing at level 50, or maybe the class you haven't leveled yet, something to really just immerse you into that time of year in the game.
So what do we know about? Do we know of what kind of other events we can expect in the future? I mean, Yoshi P has mentioned that there are plans for them, right? But do we have any sort of details?
We have the Lunar Festival we're expecting again. That's usually around New Year's. And we have the Halloween event, definitely. I still have my old 1.0 things from those events. You get. I like those aesthetic items a little bit more than the swimsuit. The swimsuit's a little bit silly, and it makes me fear the vanity system very, very, very much. I'm afraid every dungeon I walk into is going to look exactly like that with everybody at some point.
It's going to be really good for my RP group.
Of one.
How big were events in
Christmas event with a snowman outfit as well?
Yes.
How big were the events in 1.0? Were they a big deal at all? Because I know in some MMOs they're really big deals, like throwing events like this.
To some people, yeah. Some people like to really delve a day or two into getting all the items and just making sure, even if they already had the achievement, people would just go and they would, repeat it or do different things to get all the items, and it was immersive. It felt more like 11, because 11 had extremely immersive and sometimes ridiculous events. I'm glad I didn't see a giant boar knocking me into other zones in 1.0, which was an 11 event, unfortunately.
That sounds amazing.
It
knocked you into another zone? That sounds fantastic.
It was the first couple of times.
Yeah, until you actually wanted to complete the event and you needed to be in that zone and kill the boar or the buffalo or whatever it was to actually get the item, and it kept knocking you into halfway across into another city. You were like, please knock me into the city that I'm already at. Please knock me into the city I'm already at.
Someone sounds bitter.
Definitely 1.0 was more immersive than 2.0 when it comes to these events, and I hope that they're looking at this event as just sort of a test of how interested people people are into it, and I hope they realize Final Fantasy loves aesthetics. They love side quests and things like that. That's a big thing in Final Fantasy. And I think
you know what else they love?
More.
They love side boob.
That's not that, you know.
That's not.
That one's fine. I got mine and put it on, which that's the one that my Elizin has right there. And as soon as I put it on, I was like, oh, great. It's not a swimsuit. It looks like my Elizin likes to be tied up and beat. This is ridiculous. That's not a swimsuit.
That is not a swimsuit. All right, let's move on. Let's do some viewer questions before we get out of here. If you guys have questions for the XIV Reborn cast, make sure to send them over to submit at, I guess, Game Breaker TV. I don't know. I should know this, but I don't. I have no idea. We have so many email addresses I can't remember. Send them this week and submit at Game Breaker TV. There you go. Done. Louis V asks, I heard that free companies will eventually get their own housing. How do you think that ARR will be implementing the housing system for free companies? Free company airships, anyone?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, they talked about it.
Sweet. That's not what they're going to do, but it'd be sweet.
They did talk about it before, though, that they would like to do free company airships. I don't know in what context, but I would like that. Maybe some free company versus free company PvP trying to port each other's airships and things like that. I'd be down for that. That would be pretty awesome.
Let's get PvP first.
Yeah,
how about that?
Let's just get PvP first.
But for housing, they're just doing they have an instance zone with a bunch of houses that are going to be up for sale, different sizes, different prices. And you're going to be able to hang furnishings up and set permissions to it, and you're going to be able to look at them from the outside, set up things on your lawn and things like that. So it's going to be, I can't imagine the free company version being much different from the personal one that will come later. But it's going to be more, there's going to be more influence on what actually goes on in the house, because there's a lot of people saying, oh, you know, this would be good, this would be good. I could see people spending an entire day just grouped up in a vent channel or a mumble channel saying, okay, I think that should go there. Or we should put the couch right here, we should put the lamp over there. I could see that being a really big event.
RP.
And remember, the whole free company gets the buffs, right? You know, your personal house, the way you set things up, can get you some buffs. The same thing's going to happen with the free company house, where the way you set things up, it gives those buffs to the entire free company. Now, housing, I think, needs to come soon, but first they need to, we need to get some balance with guild flowing into the economy here. I kind of alluded to this earlier. I don't think there's going to be enough money flowing into the economy, even with the reduced price of repairs. Housing, just to give you an example, we don't have exact prices, but your personal house will be very expensive, and they've estimated in previous posts from the devs that the medium plot house will cost you the equivalent of questing from 1 through 50 3 times and keeping all the money. And keeping all the money as you go through and do those quests. That's the estimated potential cost of a medium house, not even the largest house that's available.
Making that,
and that's your personal house, not the free company house.
That's a big-time end game goal right there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you're talking big money, which is knowing that and knowing that estimate, I don't think there's enough money flowing into the economy once people stop and have completed the storyline and aren't questing, and earning all that gil.
There's a lot of extra gil.
And I apologize for my power going out here. I don't know what the hell happened there.
It stopped in a perfect frame.
Did it? Did it? This show is cursed, and that's the name of it. Episode 7, this show is cursed.
You mean Ep-See-Ode?
Ep-See-Ode 7, yes.
Ep-See-Ode.
Even the lower thirds.
Did I do it wrong?
Yeah, that's
Ep-See-Ode. nice.
It's just, could we have more go wrong on this one? But by far, it may be my favorite show so far. I love
next up, Sean Sanders wants to know, how will raid lockouts work if you level different classes on one character? Can you run a second raid team as long as you use different class? And question 2 from Mr. Happy, what's up with the Bard limit break being the heal raise ability instead of damage? So, Bernie, you want to take the first? You want to take the second half? What do you want to do?
No, I know about them, but he's experienced them. This is all you, Mr. Happy.
All right. Well, raid lockouts, so far there's only one raid that actually has the lockout, and that's the Coil. And it's done per character. As soon as your character goes past it, you can never experience the previous turn for that week. You have until Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, so convert that to whatever time you need to, 8 a.m. Pacific, wherever you might live. And then you will have to start all over and progress through to where you were the previous week. So if you only get to the second turn in a week, the next week you'll have to go back and beat turn 1 before you can try turn 2 again, and you get locked out for that entire time. As for the Bard Limit Break, that thing is clutch. It may not do damage, but when the healers are strapped and somebody needs to pop, and somebody just needs those extra heals, and the extra damage from the damage limit break isn't going to end the fight, it's clutch, but it still needs work. Even if it's going to do the healing, it has like a 12-second animation lock. I can't stand. I'm sitting there just like this for 12 seconds after I finish casting it, and then I die because I can't move.
It's lame giving the Bard and the Archer a healing limit break. I'm sorry. It may be clutch. It's lame. It's lame.
All right, last question this week. Cody McGrath says, should Fate Experience be nerfed working as intended or just a quick exploit to level? I think they said it's definitely not an exploit, right? I mean, they've definitely come out and say that it's kind of working as intended and they think it's going to calm down over time, right?
It needs to stay the way it is. It's only an exploit on your first class or two.
Then it's needed.
A necessity.
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity on your subsequent classes. I don't mind grinding, but if they nerf that for the subsequent classes, which they don't get me wrong, there are a few fates that they do need to tweak a little bit. I'm looking at you, Northern Panelin. They do need to tweak a little bit and knock the experience down or knock the timing down. But across the board, no. They need to keep it right where it's at for those 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th classes, because the buff is not, the experience buff is not enough to not make you want to poke your eyes out if you had to do even more fate grinding than you already do.
Michael Bird, follow him on Twitter at MagicMan, MIGACKMANN1. Don't forget the 1. Follow him on Twitter, and of course, you can find him also on This Week in MMO and occasionally After Dark, a show that comes on tonight at 9 p.m. So it's on tonight. Always a pleasure, sir. Michael P. Follow him, Mr. Happy1227, and go over to his YouTube channel and check out all his content there, as well as on xivnation.com and right here on the XIV Nation. You can follow me at Gary Gannon. Follow Gamebreaker TV, Gamebreaker TV. What? You're so needy. You're so needy. I'm trying to close the show. What? Ow.